Well, a very warm welcome to you. Here's just a short video for Year 11 English Language Paper 1, and this is your mock response and some materials for you based on Section B, Question 5, but in particular looking at a range of punctuation. Now, this is very, very important indeed to pick up some of those marks in Question 5, and it's something the examiner will be looking for. The question they will be asking in the summer when marking your 2 bits of writing is to what extent have you used a range of punctuation and to what extent is it accurate? So I'm going to give you some brief advice and some strategies you might be able to use. So as one can see from the mark scheme, the AO6 technical accuracy part of the mark scheme, which is out of 16, you can see that it's right at the top there, that to get those top marks, you have to have a wide range of punctuation and it's used with a high level of accuracy. And we also have to have a range of punctuation used mostly with success to get band 3. So I'm going to give you 3 tips, not an exhaustive list, but 3 tips that are going to help you. The first thing is I would make sure at least once in your piece of writing you use a colon to introduce a statement, and I'm going to talk to you about how you do that. I would also use a semicolon once, and I'd also use a colon for a list. Of course, I'm assuming your full stops, commas, apostrophes are all used particularly well. You might want to go on to other forms of punctuation, but I'm going to talk about these 3 because they're the 3 that I think, when used correctly, have the most impact. So we'll go through those now for you. So the first thing I'm going to talk to you about is a colon to introduce a statement. Now, what most people don't understand with a colon is they can be incredibly effective, but only when used accurately. And the thing to say in your head is that one side of the colon must make sense on its own. And when you're using a colon to introduce a statement, I always see it as almost putting that statement into neon lights, promoting it, almost making your most emphatic points or your most wonderful piece of vocabulary after the colon when introducing a statement. So we've got here, we've got the first part of the colon. Let me read it to you. This is in the piece of writing you might have seen before about the zoo. Like a malevolent predator, the onyx iron railings of the zoo's entrance stood tall, staring me down. So that's quite an interesting way to start. Now, I could put a full stop there. That would make sense on its own. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend it further with this statement. I was intimidated, insecure, and felt the need to run. And you can see there the principles of using a colon for a statement. The left-hand side of that colon makes sense on its own. But I want the reader to really understand that I was intimidated, insecure, and felt the need to run. It creates that sense of drama. The colon helps amplify and intensify that idea of fear, and it's used particularly well. Now, I must say, in bits of writing that I've marked over the years, students don't use these well enough, or when they do, they use them inaccurately. But when you can use them well, then my goodness me, it will set you apart from others, and examiners will reward you unquestionably. It's in the mark scheme. How can they not? So what you can do is you can either write that sentence down about how that's used, you can write your own, and you can learn them off by heart. So you've got that bank ready to go into the examination. So notoriously, this piece of punctuation, so a colon used for a list, notoriously is done pretty badly by students and done incorrectly. I'm going to show you how to do it correctly. So here I'm in my zoo and I'm describing the zoo. I'm actually describing the dolphins here. And you can see this is how I've started the sentence. Smiling gently, I saw these gymnasts at work. So I'm using the metaphor of gymnasts to describe those dolphins. But you can see I've put a colon there, but you can apply the principles of using a colon as to that sentence would make sense on its own, in its own right. But I don't want to stop there. What I want to do, I want to use some words, a list of words, to really amplify and intensify how gymnastic these guys are. So as you can see, I'm just going to extend it. Smiling gently, I saw these gymnasts at work, jumping, turning, splashing. Now, you can see there in one fail swoop, you can see how these guys are transformed by using those three verbs, those three verbs in a row: jumping, turning, splashing. It really helps to accentuate and to amplify the point that I'm trying to make. And again, you can see something so simple with punctuation can really set you apart from the rest. The examiners would love this. They really, really would, because oftentimes it is used really badly, quite frankly. So good luck with your colons for a list. So let's move on to the final one, which is the use of a semicolon. And the way to remember a semicolon is it's basically two sentences um, put together, if you like, about the same topic. So instead of using a comma, which would be a comma splice, they are two sentences, both make sense in their own right, each side of the semicolon, but they're about the same topic. So I'm going to be here talking about the dolphins again, or the porpoises, as they called them there. Regaining my balance, I eagerly observed countless porpoises. And then I put on there, their agility was something to behold. So you can see both are sentences in their own right. So regaining my balance, I eagerly observed countless porpoises. Their agility was something to behold. And you can see there how the semicolon just puts those together. And that's a rather simplistic description of it, if truth be told, but that's all you need to really know. What you need to do with all of these is practice, is to learn some off by heart, because then you can just substitute your own words when you get in the exam. So that's exactly what I'd do. I'd learn one of each of these: colon for a list, colon for a statement, and the use of a semicolon. Learn them off by heart, and then you can just substitute your own words, so you have that template when you're going into the exam. Well, look, good luck. This stuff does make a difference, so I really hope it does. Best wishes and good luck.